Hello guys, I am back from another video and today was a mercenary. So, in the last video, we start off Izuku's origins as a boy that was captured by the loan sharks. So, because of his parents not paying their debt. And because of that, Izuku was captured by them, and after that, they actually didn't know what to do with him. So, they decided to bring Izuku to the First Order of Assassins, known as the Hasan Saba. After a few years, Izuku came back to Japan a changed boy. He has now tan skin and a completely, like, his personality was basically just a plain old, like, cardboard, basically. Like, seriously, he has no personality. So, after meeting some brand new people, apparently he has a job. This job is to protect a girl. Specifically, this girl was Momo Yaoyorozu, and apparently his foster mother told him that he's going to be marrying a girl from a local gang. This girl's name was Jiro. So, yeah, that's basically what happened last episode, and let's talk about what happens next. So, Izuku wakes up as he was told by his mother, or at least his foster mother, that he's going to be meeting his soon to be bride, being Jiro. As when Izuku wakes up, Izuku starts getting ready as he gets downstairs. As Izuku meets two people, and in the middle was a girl. Izuku thinks it's probably her, Jiro. As they meet, as they were told that this girl was Jiro, as Jiro introduces herself, as she says this. So you must be the Izuku Midoriya guy or whatever. As Izuku just says this. It's nice to meet you. You can just call me Izuku for short. As they meet, as they basically exchange contacts. So, she basically explains that she's going to be going to a high so she can become a hero. Unlike her father, which he was a villain, kind of. He's kind of a villain, but more or less he's more of an idiot. So, Izuku decides to go there as well, so he can act as like a protector towards her, and also, his job of protecting, wait for a second, Momo. So, after Izuku talks to her for a little bit, Izuku decides to get some rest, saying that she can leave. She leaves as Izuku gets some sleep, as it's the next day, where they're gonna be doing the entrance exam for UA. So, everybody was excited. So, Izuku gets there as many people start staring at him because of his tan look and also for his gigantic blade. Everybody was looking at him thinking that he's some sort of ruffian. So, when Izuku gets there, he was told that he's just going to be doing the written exam, then the practical exam. So, when Izuku gets there, Izuku goes into the, wait for a second, written exam. As Izuku aces it, not really badly, it's pretty okay for him to do that, because after all, the Asan Aisaba were also pretty good at math and many other like sciences. So, after doing that, it's basically the next part of the entrance exam, being the practical exam, where everybody was brought to the auditorium about what they're going to be doing for that part. Everybody was listening closely, including Izuku, as Izuku sees this boy in front of him that was not listening at all. He seems to have pure blonde hair and red eyes, and seems to be creating little explosions from his hands. Izuku thinks it's probably like a quirk of his, as it's finally time for it to start. So, Izuku gets ready into his position as she says go. So, wait for a second. As it starts, so everybody starts going into the arena as they see several robots, being the zero, I meant not zero, I meant 1, 2, and 3 pointers, I meant. So, Izuku starts charging towards the 3 pointers as Izuku creates blades and wields them like black keys. If you don't know what are black keys, they're basically like the main weapons of the church in Fate, and also some Typhoon or any type of work from that are basically Fate, basically. So Izuku wields them like black keys and throws them as these blade-like things start, slicing through all of these robots like butter. As Izuku starts slicing them with a gigantic sword, using his special Zombania the Fool, which starts slicing them into nothing more than pieces. As Izuku, while doing it, Izuku has this sadistic smile. This almost calm, but also ominous smile. Everybody was terrified, as Jiro and the other person looks, being Momo. They see Izuku winning this pretty easily, getting more points than any of them, as they see several more, pointers appear, most of them being 3 pointers, as they start charging towards, wait for a second, Momo. Momo was about to get crushed by it, as Izuku just slices it in half, while carrying Momo. As Momo said this, what the... Wait, Izuku? As Izuku carrying her with just one arm, Izuku just says this, "Are you okay?" As she says this, yeah, and please don't carry me like that. It seems weird. As Izuku just lays her down, as Izuku just says this, "Now, my turn." As Izuku starts slicing them all, nothing more than butter to him, just ripping them apart easily, as they were turned into nothing more than scrap metal. So, after doing that, Izuku decides to get some rest and let everybody have their fill. So, as everybody is fighting the rest of these pointers, Izuku hears rumbling, but also feels kind of tired. As when Izuku basically gets his sleep interrupted, Izuku looks over and sees the 0 pointer looking at him. As Izuku just says this, "So, you must be the 0 pointer. You just ruined my sleep. Oh well, guess I should just do it then." So, Izuku unsheaths his sword, as Izuku just says this, "This is my blade. This is the flame that I wield inside me. This is what happens when those fools, these harlequins, think they can actually beat me. Now, this is what happens to those that dare do that to me." As Izuku jumps towards the 0 pointer, creating a big slash. A slash of light. As for a few seconds, Izuku says this under his breath, "Zombania." As the 0 pointer cuts in half, turning into a pile of scrap metal. Everybody was amazed. Seeing Izuku defeat that thing, it was inspiring, but also terrifying. Seeing this little boy just defeated in just an instant. Don't, don't mind me. I just defeated the most powerful thing ever in the school with just one slice. That's basically what they're thinking. So, when Izuku goes back to the regular place, not really a regular place, I meant like the actual like auditorium. So, Izuku goes back to the auditorium and was finished with the entrance exam, saying that Izuku finished it with fine colors. So, Izuku starts leaving as Momo and Jiro start leaving with him. And apparently, the polls say that, Momo won for some. Let me guess, you simps. Either way, apparently Momo's the winner, as Izuku starts moving on with Momo. So, Momo and him start leaving, as Momo was told that Izuku should not be staying with him for too long because it would raise suspicion. As Izuku says goodbye and also brings her to her limousine, she says goodbye as well as she starts leaving. So, Izuku decides to go back and see Miss Jiro, as Jiro says this: "You stupid, why did you forget me?" As Izuku just says this: "I won't forget you. After all, we're going to get married soon." As she says this: Whatever, it doesn't matter." So, they basically leave together, as they basically wait for a few days. These few days were just waiting for the test results, as Izuku gets them from the mail, saying that Izuku got first place because of his heroic sacrifice and also because of his one gigantic slice on the 0 pointer, which was amazing. Only one person easily defeated the 0 pointer, and that was All Might. So, Izuku is now going to Class 1A with Momo Yaoyorozu and the other girl being Jiro. So, because of this, Izuku started getting ready for the next day, because the next day it's going to be the first day of class. So, everybody's completely excited as they see their brand new classmates. Wait for a second. Sorry about that. I was just kind of tired. So, Izuku started getting ready for his first day at UA. So, a few days have gone by as it's finally time for them to go to UA, as Izuku started leaving, going to ride on a special type of motorcycle that he had won when he was still in Saudi Arabia. So, Izuku started leaving as he started riding off. So, when Izuku gets there, many people started looking at him because of his unique appearance. Izuku was wearing a black jacket, specifically a black leather jacket with dark skin, not helping that. Like, it's not helping that he has dark skin, and with green hair and green eyes. And with the blade on his back, it makes him look like a delinquent. So, when he started going to class, everybody was instantly terrified of Izuku, thinking that he's probably gone to like the lowest part of the class, being like section F or something like that. But nope, he's actually from, well, class 1A, which was surprising to them. So, when Izuku gets there, Izuku meets up with Jiro and Momo. Izuku says hello to them as Izuku looks over and sees another person. This other person was a kid with half white, wait for a second, half red hair, as he introduces himself as Todoroki. Izuku introduces actually, wait for a second again, god dang it. Izuku introduces himself as Izuku Midoriya, as he basically says this: "So, I saw you in the entrance exam. What was that power? What was that quirk That was definitely not a normal quirk. As Izuku just says this, oh yeah, that was just some training that they did so he can become really powerful. My quirk is just called Blades. It just allows me to create many different types of blades like knives, rapiers, sabers, and many other types of swords. As Bakugo said this, being the kid with the blonde hair from the entrance exam, the one that was not listening to the teacher. So that means you're able to create blades. Not bad of a quirk, but not as good as mine. As Izuku just says this. So what is your quirk then? As he says this. My quirk is just called Explosion. Take a guess what it does. As Izuku just says this. Let me guess. Cause a nuke? As he says this. Correct. It causes a... Wait, what? As Izuku just says this. Yeah, I just imagined you just, summoned another, World War II in Japan. Specifically, wait for a second. Another disaster. As he says this. Actually, you can shut up. So, he goes back to the corner of the room and just sulks. As Ezekiel just says this. Hey, what are you looking at me for? As the kid with the red hair and red eyes says this. Nice to meet you. You can just call me Kirishima. What do you think of my name? As Ezekiel just says this. Not bad of a name, but what's with your eyes and hair? It makes you look like a delinquent. As he says this. Says the guy who wields a sword. As Ezekiel just says this. Oh, this. It just allows me to create my special technique. As he says this. Special technique. As Ezekiel just says this. Actually, I would rather not tell you. Besides, it's a surprise too that will help us later. As he smiles and winks at him. As he says this. Okay? So, after introducing themselves, like the rest of the students, well, they hear the sound of the door breaking open as they see a sleeping bag. As one of the girls, being Mina, says this. It's a caterpillar monster. As the slimy, almost dirty bag starts opening up as they see a crusty old man. He definitely doesn't look like he's been sleeping for a while now. Wait for a second. He doesn't look like he's been sleeping for a while now. As he says this. I'm your teacher, the name's Aizawa, blah 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 blah, just wear this. That's basically what he basically said. This is actually what he said. Like, seriously. As everybody was thrown their tracksuits, Ezekiel gets his on the face. Ezekiel just says this. Sir, what the hell happened to you? As he says this. Ugh, last night's patrol. God, I just want to get some sleep. Alright, all of you brats start going to the locker rooms and start changing. Go as fast as you can, I don't really care. So, Izuku gets there to the locker rooms as they start changing their clothes. As when Izuku is changing, one of them, being Kirishima, said this. So, Izuku, what's with that tan? I never seen you ever, like this. I never seen a boy like this at all. And seriously, that tan is super deep. Did you go into the beach before you came here? As Izuku just says this. No, I've been working in Saudi Arabia. As one of them, being Tenya, says this. Wait, you've been in Saudi Arabia? As Izuku just says this. Yeah, that's why I've been training. Training under a certain group. I won't tell you what it is, or what they are, but let's just say their methods are a bit, terrifying. But I will give you a hint. They're the first assassination group ever, but you don't know what they are, right? As all of them don't really know what is the first assassination group, so they say this. Um, okay. So, after they finished taking off all of their clothes and changing into their tracksuits, they started going outside as they were told to get ready as they were thrown a ball. So, each one of them were thrown the ball as they throw it away as far as they can. So, when it gets to Izuku's turn, Izuku decides to do this. So, Izuku creates a blade that was pretty blunt, but not sharp enough to, cut the blade. Like, not cut the blade, I meant cut the ball. As Izuku throws it as high as he can and uses the blunt sword to basically fly it away like a regular old bat. Like regular old, like baseball. So, when Izuku does that, well, it goes pretty far. Pretty far. As when he checks out the radar or the thing, it turns out that Izuku gets something. It says error, so he says infinite or whatever, as Aizawa gives Izuku infinite. So, after that, the rest of well, wait for a second. Challenges were pretty easy, as it's basically the end of the day, as everybody started leaving. So, as everybody started leaving, Izuku was given a kiss on the cheek by Jiro in the front of the whole class, as one of them being Kaminari said this. Why did you do that, Jiro? As Izuku just says this. Oh yeah, my mother told me that I'm going to be forced to marry her. As everybody was shocked, including Aizawa himself, he was not really ready to hear that. As Izuku started leaving with Jiro and Momo. So, when Izuku gets home, Izuku was pretty tired, as Izuku goes to sleep. So, I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye!